Hello, hello, hello. It has been some time. Actually, don't know how long. Probably a month or more, maybe 6 weeks since I did a recording and then posted it up. Lots has changed. Lots has changed. So this is our beautiful backyard that we live rent at this house, but that is one of the changes that is happening. So the owner wants to move back in. That's cool. We were trying to figure out what to do, and we're like, fuck. Well, how do we get ahead? Because pretty much everything's gone up to basically like $900 to $1,000 a week for a minimum 3 bedroom place on the Gold Coast in the areas that we want to live because of school and kids and distances and stuff like that. And we're like, fuck, what do we do? And we weren't sure. And then my wife actually reached out to her dad and asked uh, if we could stay out there for a little bit, like buy a bus or buy a tiny home and we'll put it on there and we'll just figure it out as we go. And he's come back and said, don't buy anything because they actually already have a slab that's been poured out there with a ensuite like toilet that's been attached to the slab, which is like all enclosed, like not a portaloo or a long drop or an outhouse, like a proper one. And then they had purchased many years ago a 9 by 9 or a 9 by 6 within 3 by 9 veranda. So a 9 by 6 um, shed, and it's what is it? It's 3.9 to the apex in the center, and then it has a 3 by 9 uh, veranda section. So we're thinking we might actually cover, like enclose some of that, sheet some of that as well, so we can add some more space. But yeah, he said, come out, figure out your shit, don't pay anything, which is fucking amazing, but it is all off grid. So we're going to be off grid power, off grid water. What else? I guess we get Starlink or something like that. And all we have to do is help with the farm. They do have 200 acres. There's cattle out there, which I'm all for because it's part of the life that I actually want to. That's what's our ultimate dream is to have some land and have animals, cattle, horses, which they've got horses out there, be able to get the kids a dog. So we had a shelter dog and then we'll get a little puppy, which is awesome. And I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, which is the pool fencing and learning to trade. My wife's going to keep learning to trade. We'll have to figure out the logistics on whether or not she'll keep her job where she currently is, because it'll be a bit of a drive just for a couple of days. What, 2 3 days worth of work, but we can figure out whether or not the logistics work. So yeah, it's a massive move for us, massive, quite a bit of a weight and burden off. So we're just gonna keep hustling, uh, put money away, get a bigger deposit, be able to service the loan for a house that we can actually afford on the Gold Coast, somewhere closer to where all the kids are actually based. Who knows? That might be the plan, or it might not be the plan. But be able to get a little farm in northern New South Wales. That would be fucking epic. What else we have? We're still trading. We're still learning to trade. Still early days. Still making mistakes. Still figuring out psychology, our trading rules. My wife's just waving at me as she's done a workout inside. Um, yeah, trading psychology. What works, what doesn't work. So that's still good. I went ham. Tried to get a funded account, blew that. Tried to get another one, blew that. So I was just like, all right, back to the demo trading. Try different aspects, just find out what the edge is, and then keep going from there. I'm excited for what's coming. Being able to put like money away and focus on the land. I thought we'd buy the kids like a little ATV side by side thingy, but those things are like 9 to 14 grand, and I was like, what? That's ridiculous. So I went online and I found a little old school 80s Toyota Corolla, I think it was. Corolla or a Honda Civic for $500. It's all running and everything. I think it needs a couple of little things for roadworthy, but we're not going to roadworthy it. So $500, and I'll drive the sucker back to the farm and then teach kids how to drive a proper car. Start off with an automatic, and we'll get them rolling with the automatic, and then into a manual, and a couple of little dirt bikes, so they can just like get really get really into that sort of lifestyle and like free and just be able to do stuff, because it's getting quite cramped on the Gold Coast and there's not many things that you can get away with. Yeah, so if we can utilize the farm for all that growth and that sort of thing, that'd be awesome. Fuck, it has been raining for probably 3 weeks now, on and off. We had a few days of no rain, and then in between that, I've just been working to try and get jobs done. So you could imagine, I don't know if anyone's picked up glass before, but you pick up a piece of glass that is covered in water and it slides out of your hands. So you can imagine picking up like a 30, 40 kilo piece of glass while it's wet and you're just gripping it for dear life. So we actually can't do that. So it limits to how much work can get done and what we can do. And I also don't want to wreck my tools by just throwing them in through the weather, because they're obviously not weatherproof, like waterproof. So yeah. What else do we have? What else do we have? There's been a few things, but that's about it. Those are the major movements. I'm just like excited for what's about to come. So I'm gonna keep. I got to put a schedule in, because from like what I've realized is like if I don't schedule in recording, I'm just like doing it on a whim to try and like get it done and just do something. So over the next, I think it's 8 to 10 weeks, we're gonna build this friggin' shed and then move out there. That's the plan. So we're gonna have to start like downsizing all of our stuff, because we're gonna have like either one big room downstairs for Annika and I for all of our things and our office, and then we're gonna build the loft upstairs for the kids, so they'll have like a mezzanine floor, and we'll just put up some dividers so they can all have their own little space, but then they can all have like intermingle, so when they want to be like alone, they can have their own little section, which would be awesome. Obviously it's not going to be super high, but for the time being, and then if we end up staying out there for longer, we'll just add another structure on, either another shed or just like build off what is already there. And yeah, we'll figure out that part when we come to that. But for now, let's just get out there and just get used to what that life is, and the logistics and travel and kids. So kids are going to change as well. Like we have them week on, week off. So we pick them up Monday afternoon. We have them for the whole week through the weekend, and then we drop them at school on Monday, and then they go to the other parents for that week. But we're going to actually have to change that, which will be pick them up Friday afternoon, have them over the weekend, and then drop them back at school on Monday. It seems like a shorter amount of time, but we're going to have more quality time. And that's just for the immediate like the immediate time as we move out there and get like everything sorted. So yeah, I think I guess now I'm just going to do like a playlist moving forward of this build and then transition out there and what we're having to do and go through, and then how it is living out there as we do things and become traders, because we're going to become traders. I'm going to start a fencing business while I'm out there as well, because we need still to bring income in, and because otherwise we won't get a deposit and we'll just run through our savings that we have. So yeah, I'll start recording properly. I need to get something for work while I'm doing stuff like that as well. So yeah, lots of so yeahs as I get used to being in the camera again and figure out what I'm actually going to say. All right, peace. See you soon.